Yeah, congrats to Texas. They earned it, dominated line of scrimmage right from the get-go. Um, Anytime you impose your will and dominate a line of scrimmage and you can't stop the run like they did, and they set that tone pretty early, it's going to be a long day. So, going to open up.
Go ahead.
You guys came in with the mindset of, stopping the run, obviously. What did they do so well that made it, almost nearly impossible, especially in that first half?
I just thought they dominated with their offensive line. It wasn't so much the scheme. It was we couldn't get off blocks. We were fitting things up wrong, and they owned the line of scrimmage.
Did that surprise you? They're not necessarily known as an offensive line, a team with a great offensive line.
Well, we're 4 games into the season. I don't know if you can say that about them. They owned today. They owned it today.
What happened to Tyler that he wasn't able to return?
Yeah, he's going to be out for a little while, a few weeks. Not sure how long. We'll get back to Lubbock, and our docs will reassess him. We'll see. Proud of Henry. I thought Henry, that's a tough spot for him to come in. He came in and competed, and he threw some good balls. And he's a fearless competitor, and I know we can win games with Henry.
Was there any, or do you have any idea what the injury was to Tyler?
Yeah, it's a shoulder injury.
Obviously, seeing Henry last year, did you feel like he, adjusted anything to his game, especially, that he showed in this game, or was it sort of the same?
Yeah, Henry's a good quarterback, and I think he's a guy that's he's always into it in the QB meetings. He's into it in practice, continually pushing Tyler and being an encourager. And Henry's going to be just fine. Henry's a winner. He's a competitive dude.
Just in terms of Bijan Robinson, obviously you talked about the way the offensive line was kind of able to own the line of scrimmage. But what did he do so well that allowed him to take advantage of those holes?
Well, he's a good back. I mean, he's got speed. He's got some vision. It's what makes him one of the top backs in the country.
Anything surprise you about their offense and trying to stop them as a result of things they could do?
Not so much surprise, I wouldn't say.
Going forward with Henry, does he add anything to this offense? I mean, obviously he can really stretch the field with his throws downfield. And that really
Yeah, he throws the ball well. Henry's got a little bit more ability running than you think. I don't know if we're going to run a whole lot of QB run game with him, but he can escape. He can escape up into the pocket. He does a nice job taking care of the football, and I think you saw some of those today. He escaped and can get up and out of that pocket.
Coach, even when your defense has gotten off to slow starts, especially in that fourth quarter, in the first couple games they responded pretty well. What caused just kind of the floodgates?
Yeah, I don't know. That's obviously what we're about to dig into and try to find out. But that certainly is a cause for concern for us right now and to try to fix.
Did you have, as long with Henry been around, your confidence that he'd be ready to go in like that?
Yeah, I just like I said earlier in my earlier statements about Henry, I got confidence in Henry. Henry's won Big 12 games for us last year. I believe he can win again this year, and he brings a competitive edge, I think, to that position.
What do you think about, obviously, some of the things that, obviously, Eric started out kind of hot, but then it seemed like your other receivers kind of got into the game. Kalen kind of touched down. So did Miles. What do you like about what?
It seemed like they made some plays. Miles made some plays. Rigdon made a great catch there at the end, and I thought Eric was steady, and Geiger showed up, and those H's did a nice job. I think those guys all played out well out there on the outside. What?
Oh, sorry, keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
What has allowed Donovan to kind of move into that role after Henry, where he kind of gets some of those reps?
Yeah, he just was maybe a shade ahead of Barron, coming out of training camp. And again, that's hard when your third and fourth quarterbacks aren't getting very many reps. Those two guys we think they're talented. They're young and talented. He was just a shade ahead of him. And, we've been working on some QB run game, and you saw one of them down there on the goal line. And so it's kind of why he was into the spot in 3.
So Roger, getting a heavier workload this week, how did you feel like you performed today?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it was solid. You just get down so much, you got to start throwing the ball.
When you're scouting them, you go back and look at things Sark did before he was at Texas, just on offensively, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty normal for all of us. We always go back, especially if it's a guy's a new coach, whether it's a offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, and you look at their history and where they've been, and certainly he did a nice job at Alabama, and he does a nice job of setting things up in the throw game, and so yeah, you certainly are trying to scout your who you're going against in terms of the play caller on both sides of the football.
I know you talked about the O-line really dominating for them, but did they do anything that you didn't see on tape that you guys, weren't really in tune with?
I don't think so right now. Before I watch tape.
Coach, just in terms of a loss like this one where it got a little out of hand, at least on the scoreboard, how do you balance kind of the idea of flushing it versus, hey, we still got to remember some of the stuff we did wrong just so it's correctable?
No, you watch, you learn, you own it. I think we learn a little bit more about us. Coaches do, what we do well, what we don't do so well. Try to stay away from that. Try to improve on some things, and as players, you gotta learn and you gotta own it too. So we're in the same boat with the players, and I think you watch it, you learn, and then you move on, and you move on quick.
Matt, were you surprised that defense gives up 9 touchdowns in 10 series? Were you surprised?
Yeah.
At that, given their experience level and given how.
Yeah, I thought we would have played better on defense. I thought we would have played better.
What did you see as the main reason for the letdown or letdown?
Yeah, just I don't think we owned the line of scrimmage early in the game. They owned it.
Coach, what happened to Muddy that made him unavailable? Is that an injury early in the week?
Injury? No, in the game today.
And Matt,
Yes.
DeMarcus, same thing. I mean, anything you can tell us about DeMarcus or about Muddy?
Not right now. Yeah, we'll evaluate them a little bit more tomorrow.
Okay. And pardon me for.
It's okay.
I took about 9 wrong turns in the maze getting here, so can you recap?
It's all good, bud.
So you can recap Tyler's situation.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a few weeks. Not sure. We'll evaluate him, Don, when we get back to Lubbock, but I don't know how long. So we'll see.
Was it on his shoulder?
Upper body, up, shoulder.
Any other questions?
Was that, what did you think of, was that as well as you have seen Henry play before? And B, with the throw to Miles and the throw to Loic and the throw to Kalen, what would you say about his arm strength?
Evaluate.
I mean, there's been, questions about, how good an arm does Henry have? It looks like he disproved anybody's notion that his arm is not that great.
Yeah, I think it's more than capable to play in this league. Yeah. I mean, I've coached guys with less arms and coached probably some guys with stronger arms. Accuracy matters most with quarterbacks. Throwing deep balls on time in rhythm is really the most important. Not just sitting there patting the ball and letting receivers get out of your arm range. It's about rhythm throws, and he did a nice job with both of those throws, the deep one to Loic and, Rigdon down here in the corner, and then Kalen down our sidelines.
What did you feel about his, readiness just to?
I think he looked well. I mean, he prepared well. It looked like to me he was ready to go right from the beginning. He had a good look in his eye. Now we've won, and I just said it earlier before, we've won Big 12 games with him, so now we're going to have to again, and I believe we can.
Is Tyler's injury on his showing, or his throwing shoulder, or is it non?
I don't know. I'm not trying to avoid it, but he had a sling on. You guys probably all saw him. Everybody saw him on the sidelines. He came out. I don't know which shoulder it is.
I mean, I feel like the most important thing for me is I've been in this situation before. I backed up Jordan and Allen last year, and both of them had gone down injured at some point. So I think this time around it was just more, I was more comfortable than the last few times. But, at the same time, you're on the road. It's a good atmosphere. You just have to find a way to play within yourself in those moments.
What was the exact point where you started to feel like, okay, I'm comfortable, like the game's kind of coming to me?
Yeah, I think that second drive when we got things clicking and we got in the end zone, Miles got loose for that touchdown. I think I felt pretty good there, and we were ready to roll.
For you coming in, just with any quarterback in general, when you come in and the deficit is what it is, how do you balance making an impact but not trying to, get 3 or 4 touchdowns back up on the road?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we talked about, I mean, even at halftime, Coach Cumbie was telling me on the mic, it's just taking it one play at a time, just not trying to do too much, just doing what the offense asks you to do and just trying to get back in the game. You can't score 21 points in one possession. You just take it one drive at a time, try and put 7 on the board each time.
Is it difficult to stay ready as a
I think for most people, yeah. It's just, for me, I feel like it's something I've always done, just in the past where I've been. And so I think kind of got a good handle at this point.
You came in and started sort of going vertical almost right away. Was there something you saw from the sideline, or was that just sort of the game plan dictated by the score at that point?
I mean, it was a little bit of both. We had a good feeling that, I like our receivers over anybody. And we were talking on the sideline about them just running by the DBs at that point. And luckily for us, we were successful at it, and they made a big impact on the game there.
Like you mentioned, you've been in this position before, but obviously you don't want to see any of your teammates go down. What sort of your
Absolutely.
taking over the starter position going forward?
Tyler's he's a great teammate. He's one of my good friends, and we constantly learn off each other. And you never want to see that for anybody. Just moving forward, it's just taking it one day at a time, getting ready for games each week, and just rallying the team together.
How's the offense sort of changed with you at the helm?
I think me and Tyler are pretty similar. I don't think one of us does a lot better than the other in any aspect. I think that we're both pretty good quarterbacks. I don't think it changes much. For some of you running the same stuff, maybe running a little bit. That's all I could think about in the perimeter, read options, stuff like that.
What do you take away from a game like this? Obviously, you don't play defense, so you couldn't be out there to stop their run attack. But what do you take away from blowouts like this?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's the team with the most points wins the game. If we put up more points than them, then it doesn't matter what happens on the other side of the ball. We feed off of each other. We rely on one another, and at the end of the day, we have to put up more points.
Henry, those touchdown passes you threw are obviously right on the money for, the pass to Miles and the pass to Loic and the pass to
Kalen.
Yep, Kalen. Deep balls that are right on the money. How pleased were you with just how you threw today? And has your arm strength or accuracy improved at all, either from last year to this year or over the course of your career?
I mean, I feel like it's definitely improved since I came to college. I was about like 180 pounds coming into college, so put on some weight, and I definitely think that I put on arm strength. And I mean, when you have receivers like that, I trust them. I've been throwing them for a while. I rely on them, and I know I put it out there that they're going to go make big plays for me. And I trust them to be the DBs, so they kind of make my job pretty easy.
Your second year with Texas Tech, and obviously the offense sort of was changed over the offseason. What is your control of this offense right now? How confident do you feel with it?
I feel pretty confident. It's an offense I've run since spring, like you said. Me and Coach Cumbie have a good relationship, just like all the other quarterbacks do. And any one of us at any time can go in the game and compete. And it's just a matter of rallying the guys together and just going out there and operating.
What impresses you about what Donovan's able to do? Obviously, he was able to come in when you lost your helmet there and pick up a couple nice carries and then grab a touchdown.
Yeah, he's a great kid. He's a young leader. He's very vocal on the field and in the meeting room. He obviously brings a running aspect. He's a big kid. He's powerful, and he can throw the ball really well as well. So I know we can count on him, if anything. My helmet, just like you said, my helmet comes off. He's a guy that can come in and he can fill the role.
Loic's run after the catch, is that something that you guys seen through practice?
Oh, absolutely. Loic always does special things when he has the ball in his hand. And I saw the guy one-on-one with him. I knew that he was going to make a miss and go for a big gain.
Henry, obviously, Easy's been a favorite target of Tyler so far this year. What did you see to maybe spread the ball around a bit more and throw to some other guys?
It's just I wasn't looking at it like that. It was just kind of how the game plan went, how our plays were called. I looked for matchups, and they were pressing down on our guys a couple times, like you saw to KG and to Loic on the vertical routes. And when that happens, we have to capitalize on our opportunities, which we did, luckily.
Obviously, when you come in the middle of the first half and you have halftime, is that kind of when you use that time to kind of almost like a pregame a little bit, where you kind of then reset and kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always have to stay ready, like we were talking about earlier. But definitely coming in close to the end of the first half, it's a moment to be able to regroup your thoughts, get the guys together, tell them that just rally them up, tell them they can count on you and stuff like that. So I think it was a good opportunity.
I guess all the yards they got, I felt like they were on us. We practically gave them everything. They did a really good job running the stretch, taking shots, and we just couldn't get them on the ground. So all credit goes to them for executing.
What changed? Because obviously, you guys come in top 10 rushing defense, and then everything kind of goes awry in this one.
I wish I knew the answer to that. I mean, they probably already knew that, and they tested us, and we just couldn't defend like we were capable of. So credit goes to them.
Is it hurt because they do so well on the perimeter and they can throw the ball? Does that make it harder to stop them from running?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we knew coming into the game that they're going to try to test us running the ball, and they just executed better. So